Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for coming in. We're on the verge of our first winter storm of the new year. We've had one winter storm this season, but we thought it was, given the proportions of this storm, at least the forecast, we thought it was a good idea to bring everyone together and kind of let you know what we know and sort of what's being planned from the city's perspective, and to encourage folks to use some good old-fashioned common sense as this storm approaches. This team just got off of a conference call with the National Weather Service. They have now issued a winter storm watch for this area. We're anticipating anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow beginning sometime around daybreak on Sunday, and then the massive cold air comes in, and they are looking at wind chill factors in the 25 below zero range. So this is going to be potentially a dangerous storm. We encourage people to use good common sense as they handle that. Be prepared and think ahead. I think by thinking ahead, people can avert all kinds of potential disaster. I'd like to introduce Cliff Weaver. We'll have a number of people who can speak to a number of topics, everything from driving in the snow to carbon monoxide difficulties in homes. But first we'd like to introduce Cliff Weaver, the interim director of the Emergency Management Agency, who's going to talk about some of the storm planning. Cliff.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. We've been monitoring this situation for several days, and we was hoping the forecast would change, but it hasn't. So now it's our responsibility to make sure the public starts preparing. The good news is you have a couple of days to prepare for this. So we want to make sure, starting Sunday morning, that you start using common sense. Be prepared when you drive, that you're ready for any weather-related type of emergency. On Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be extremely important for you to be very careful. Any small incident can quickly become a serious incident. So if you can, at all possible, stay inside and stay warm. The wind chill factors will be down around 24, 25 below zero on Tuesday and late Monday night. Frostbite will be a serious concern. Any exposed skin, well, just within minutes you'll have frostbite. So this is something, if you're 20 to 25 years old, you have never experienced temperatures these low before. So this is something unusual for this area. Anybody have any questions?
We'll do questions at the end.
Okay. And Kerry.
Hello, I'm Kerry Camp, and I'm with the Department of Transportation, which is the street maintenance department, which takes care of the snow routes. Currently, we have 11 snow routes. We have our vehicles are up and running. We're out right now with a salt, bee juice, and calcium chloride mixture pre-treating our roads. The game plan at this point, from what we've seen from the telephone conversation, that the snow may come around 6 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. We plan to be in 3 to 4 hours before that, and if need be, do some more pre-treating, spreading salt, make sure everything's up and running and ready to go. I'd also like to take this opportunity to remind everyone to take care of your pets. Make sure that they have got straw if they're an outside pet. If you can at all, if they're an outside pet, try to bring them in, at least into your garages and things. Wash their water bowls, make sure they're not frozen. Thank you.
I'm Chris Pugh. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Police Department, and the main thing we want to reiterate is what Cliff said. If you don't have to drive, don't drive. There's no need to put yourself in that type of situation in case you do have an accident or you have a slide off or something like that. The other thing we'd like to reiterate is if you have to drive, make sure you're prepared. This means blankets, maybe food, your cell phone's completely charged, you got a charger with you, your gas tank's full, things like that, because if you get out there and you do have a problem, the police department will be at full staff, will be operating normally, but we're just like anybody else. We'll be affected, our responses will be affected by the weather if it does get as much snow as they say. We will have extra vehicles. This concludes the 8 military Humvees that we've received over the last year. We've got the school liaison Jeeps as well as several other four-wheel drive vehicles that we'll put into service should it get to the point that we need to do that. So but just try to stay off the road as best you can. And if you do have to travel, be careful. Thanks.
The Evansville Fire Department will respond as usual, as we have in the past. We have staff that we will bring in as needed to support operations. I would highly recommend everyone to check their furnaces. They're going to get overworked this time. Check your combustible storage in and around furnaces. Maintain clearances around furnaces of combustible storage. Smoke detectors. Test your smoke detectors. Questions? Thank you.
Ben Miller with the Building Commission. The Evansville-Vanderburgh County Building Commission would like to alert citizens of the danger of carbon monoxide poisoning and fires that can come from malfunctioning furnaces, blocked flues and chimneys, and inadequate air for those heating devices. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless, tasteless vapor that can catch you unaware. Symptoms may include the flu, including headache, dizziness, nausea, shortness of breath. There may be fatigue and confusion. If you suspect carbon monoxide in your home, leave your home and call 911. Prevention is really the key to helping you get past any kind of carbon monoxide poisoning that might threaten you. Make sure you have your furnaces and heating devices checked by a properly licensed contractor. They all carry license cards from the Building Commission. Ask for a copy. They should have it on them. They can show you that, and that means that they've gone through testing and we have insurance on them, and make sure they're qualified to look at your equipment. Make sure you read and follow all instructions on any kind of a temporary portable device that you may have purchased, and make sure you're following those completely for ultimate safety. And help alert your family with carbon monoxide detectors. And as the fire department mentioned, smoke detectors, make sure you're checking those. And we'd like to thank Dan Armstrong for his great work on putting together our alert this year of carbon monoxide. The flyers on the table here that you guys can have. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Also, just before we get to the question, just remind folks that the city's website is up to date with phone numbers that our residents may need to get updates on road conditions and the numbers of shelters that may be required. Just go to the city's website. Also, with significant updates during the course of the storm, we'll be utilizing social media to provide as many updates in a timely fashion as possible. And with that, we have our public service team available to take any questions.
Yes. I wanted to remind everyone, sidewalks within the city, to keep those clear are the responsibility of the adjoining resident. So hopefully everyone can get out or get someone to help them to get out and keep their sidewalks as clear as possible.
And this is also for you, Carrie. As you know, we have a lot of citizens who rely on public transportation to get to jobs and to get around. If there's disruption in service, how will you try to get the word out about that?
We will actually be twittering to the mayor's office, and they will be sending out that message. At this point, though, we plan on having all of our routes up and running, staying on course, and on the roads as we can, as safely as possible.
Carrie, while you're up there, can you show the media the science behind making the mix for pre-treatment? I thought that was kind of interesting.
I may need Cliff to help me with this a little bit, but basically we have a map here that shows how the temperatures are going to be dropping or what they'll be at certain times throughout the day. On our pre-mix or our pre-treating, we look to see if the temperatures are going to be around 27, we use mostly a beet juice formula for pre-treating. In this case, we're looking at getting temperatures down the 0 mark. So we started adding calcium chloride to our mix now, more calcium chloride to our mix, so that it'll burn hotter and melt ice away faster.